Hi everyone, today's 27th of March 2025. So I'm just starting off with this introduction before I get on to what I have in my heart to actually talk about. I've had to keep the evidence in the moment, and quite obviously everyone is awakened of the illegal scientific experiments on individuals without their consent or knowledge, and the misuse of devices, and also the relationship scam scenario, using individuals by force and without their consent. So the most current recently relationship that I've been with is Henry Cavill. So if you've been watching all my last clip, they're all my in the moment evidence of our in the moment real life incidents together as we were dating each other and just getting to know each other personally through the devices. And because of his set of circumstances, other ways of we usually would normally communicate, like that allows couples to do that, we haven't been able to do a lot of that because of who we are as individuals and our culture and the things that encompasses us in our personal life, personal set of circumstances. But it's quite clear we're both in dangerous set of circumstances, but we also are a revelation of what I have been subject to historically, and we're just hardcore original evidence to that. So welcome to Authentic Ingenuity Entrepreneur. My name is Minnie Crichton. I'm the narrator of this video clip and all the video clips on my YouTube channel. It is all about me and my personal journey, my personal entity, and my real life facts on earth. My case is definitely linked to my YouTube channel and my Facebook page because I've actually submitted that legally as an exhibit. So according to the laws, all these can be used in my legal cases as evidence, and because I am definitely a case where of illegal scientific experiment by the government or whoever started this in the beginning. And so in saying that, the judges in my cases are well aware that everything come about myself and my court case has gone social media, and so because I'm the actual person who is the plaintiff, the defendant, the plaintiff who have actually sued the defendants, and also have laid criminal charges in the criminal jurisdiction. So all that is still pending at the moment. But today I will just continue with my journey because just from common sense and just from listening to the public arena and the public deception is still going on. The alliances of the opposing allies are always conspiring. They haven't rested. And quite obviously, I'm still waiting for some judgments to be finalized in my favor. So this is another reason why I'm doing this in the moment, because of the in the moment sabotaging that is global and that is actually really serious. The opposing allies can break the law all they like, but they have no idea how serious what they're doing. It is serious violent offences. So I'm keeping the evidence in the moment, and as usual, I'll start off with an introduction before I get onto the topic that's on my heart. Okay, so basically I'm the original. I do have an alias. I'm also known as Minnie Nuema, but my maiden name at birth is actually Minnie Crichton. So historically people have dug up my past to use against me, which is actually illegal. And that is still illegal even now. Okay, so anything unlawful investigation, unlawful acts without the person's permission is a criminal offence for the very reason of home invasion, and all these unlawful things that have taken place, secret stealing of other people's property, secret stealing of their identity, and secretly stealing and taking over their personal property or their personal life, which is exactly what's happened to me. So this picture is clearly the best way to describe everything that I have gone through. These people call themselves the shadow people. So it is a sport. Quite obviously, it's an addictive kind of a sport of, whoever can, for the people that are participating in the sport, it's a game to them. They don't care. They don't care about any rules. But if, it is a sport and people are actually illegally participating in it, breaking every single law upon the innocent civilians or the originals that is being targeted. So it can happen to anyone. I can actually confirm legally by law that all this took place while I was working for my employer, the Ministry of Justice, going back to 2006 officially, but I didn't really lose my complete privacy until officially 2008, then by 2010 all hell broke loose. But the evidence is quite clear that there's definitely been indirect home invasion and a consistency of people using me for money laundering illegally and obtaining things that doesn't actually belong to them legally, so that I can actually prove legally according to the laws here in New Zealand. So the laws in New Zealand is the only laws that I'm using, and it is applicable to my case at this instance. No other laws around the world actually applies to my case, but in New Zealand, where it's only New Zealand laws that what all the New Zealanders are used to. But these people call themselves the shadow people, a zombie zone. They do exactly what they do. They're actually like it's a sport. It's like they're in to do the damage and then they're gone. That's actually really serious predicament for anybody, for any individual, or for any family or any society, because majority of society are just normal people minding their own business, good civilians, and half of them are behind times. If you're behind times, what has happened to me can happen to anyone in advance. Okay, so my YouTube channel is about me and my professional life and my court case, and me and my personal testimony. So it's got bits and pieces of everything in my YouTube channel. There's quite a lot of YouTube clips. I think well over 100 clips on my channel. But it is a criminal case, so it is all about me. So when somebody is actually murdered or there's some kind of home invasion like what I've gone through, every single detail about the individual is investigated and put together to find out who is the actual suspects and who to blame and criminally responsible for anything that any indictable charges or any offences, category 4 offences that may be in the individual's profile before or after the fact. So all this can be used even after 10-20 years the victim has passed away. The thing is, they are my truth and my personal journey. A lot of the evidence I have found going back to 2010, the perpetrators have used me in the moment, and then they've actually altered the evidence, deleted the evidence that's not there anymore, but they did exist and it can still be found out. And even the people that deleted it, if they're alive, they can still be made accountable for conspiracy, warlike crimes upon an individual. So everyone is accountable. No one is free actually to do their own thing. So so hopefully my channel will just give you an awareness of what human trafficking in persons is. Okay, so the reality is they have used me like a generator, which makes it very serious. Okay, because there's no generation this is ever acceptable. In any generation, it's illegal. It's a very serious criminal case upon an individual or any group of people that may have been personally attacked by secret societies, and all they need to do is link everything under the surface and find out who are the corporate bodies involved globally, and it's really easy to find out. But this system is set out that the trickery that I have discovered in the moment is the secret societies come in my space, they lie, they tell you misleading evidence. They actually just come in your space just to have a look and be nosy to update themselves. Then they leave, and then somebody else come. But it's the same people with the same mindset. So this is how you get mixed match evidence and everything. The horrific experience that I have found is that it's been there, different everything. Even when you go in public, different people. You just know that the enemy is right there in your space, but they're just using different people all the time. And the whole idea of this illegal scientific experiment after using somebody is to actually eliminate them, and they're actually like getting rid of the evidence at the same time. So the danger is they can eliminate your existence, and they are using different people all the time, which makes it even worse. All right, so if you watch all my other video clips, I've actually exhausted all the judiciary or the system for complaints. I've used it all, you name it, and so I've been in a lockout situation, and I feel like I'm always on a self-defense. However, integrity is a one-way stream. So if a person ends up being involved or is a victim of crimes, all these things can still be investigated, making anyone accountable for any after-the-fact offences. So if you watch all my other videos, I've gone through, these are all the names that I've actually put of people within government that can be made accountable. It's everything that I've actually put on my post. They're actually me just describing in plain English what it actually means. What I have found, because there's match evidence, and I do feel like absolutely exploited. So it means there's trading and influence, which means everyone already knows who you are. So they can either be against you or for you. However, because of the situation a victim is in, somebody is still accountable after the fact, because no one should be actually going through what I'm going through. Like even my position I am in now, it shouldn't be be difficult, but it is difficult because people are still playing games with my life. Okay, so the game is a sport. It's global. It's on the radio. It's on the TV. And this here, I put this up because this was a tactic that they used. So it's just evidence that they're actually using their jobs, their coding. That's how people are actually moving by the coding. They just need to watch the coding. They just need to watch whatever has been coded on social media. That's how they're in your space to do the damage, or just to be nosy to find out what you're doing next. So the whole idea of the game is they want to have the upper hand of everything, because obviously in my court case, a lot of people have used me illegally for money laundering, or they have stolen off me, retrieved things that's not even theirs and made it their own. So that is what we're up against, and they seem to be using the either three people or the number 3. It's because these people actually represent, or the number 3 actually represent a coding to those that are actually watching the game. So part of the coding is a relationship scam. So obviously these are the people involved, the men involved, because I'm the female. So I guess if it was a man, they'll be using women, but the game involving me is involving different men, and then I've actually publicly announced who are the secret society women who have used with these men. So I'm just explaining the game. But what was actually on my heart today was actually to talk about, they've coded me as number one, okay? So they've linked me because I'm divorced, okay? I've been divorced for a long time. The relationship was very rocky and all the rest of it. But if you watch my other video clips, it actually describes the relationship. It was a very, a lot of family violence, but obviously it was, I came from a dysfunctional background, okay? And that is life, and that is how it is. It's not our fault what we were actually born into, but that was my situation at this point of time. But the coding is coming from, number one, is they've actually coded me, linking me to my ex-husband. Okay, so what they are actually doing to actually describe how illegal, how appalling, how disgusting, how cowardice this game is. They've dug up my past, okay, and then they've linked me. I don't even know who even thought of this game, but it's really bad. So they've linked me, encoded me to my ex, and I've been divorced from him since 2006, okay? This is no offense to my family or anyone. It's got nothing to do with them. I'm the victim. I have to explain what I see, what they've done to me personally as a victim. It's really bad. But my discovery of what they've done is that you have to go back and find out who are these perpetrators. A lot of people are actually dead now, but some of them are still alive and they can still be made accountable. But I have to describe the game as it is. So they've tagged me as number one and caution or whatever. So it's a mixture of cultures and religions. They're fault finding me for every single flaw. Like, I might as well not be a human being, but that's what they're doing. They're digging up people's past, and then they're fault finding, and then they're comparing with somebody else who may have had, in their eyes, they've had a perfect life. So that's what they're doing, or whom they think society should choose over myself, okay? But they've coded my ex, and they've coded him Thai. Okay, so it's out there. So if you get caught for coding, the game is so clear. A lot of people have been scared since I started denouncing and started announcing, or actually making this game global. So then everyone has a chance. Even my family can have a chance to protect themselves and see what we're all up against. Okay, but they have to find out who's behind the coding and everything, and then those people will be charged for conspiracy, because that's what it is. It's a conspiracy. So they've coded, what they've done is, I've had a dysfunctional life. No, not my fault, not by anything I've done, anything wrong. I'm just a human being. But I did well for myself in so many ways, and I got my foot in the door, all in the right ways, the right ways a normal citizen would, who's gone through very difficult situation or difficult set of circumstances. And, I've made it. I've done well. I know I have done well for myself. But this game involves, other jealous religions or other jealous secret societies, cultures, and not everyone's the same. I'm not speaking, we can't point at one defendant and then make them a representative for all the other countries and for all their culture, because it's not. Because when people commit an offence, it's an individual choice. So just keep in mind that the people I'm talking about is a defendant. I feel in my heart to actually talk about this, but just as an example of what they are doing and why they have endangered my family and everyone else, and why those responsible for this game must be prosecuted. They must be prosecuted by the fullest extent of the law. Okay, that I would have it that way if God made me a judge. I would have it that way, because I believe that is what should happen. But what they've done is they have coded me with my ex-husband. Okay, he hasn't been a well man, and he hasn't actually even been involved in my life for well over. Oh my gosh, I divorced him in 2006, and even before then we weren't even together. But he's not in a position to actually pay people to do what he's doing to me. Okay, he's actually was in a relationship with another woman, and he has a child to another woman. But other people have used our circumstances to do a Commonwealth Games. But what they have done with me, I mean, even when I was working, he had nothing to do with me, because I even had a final protection order. For those that don't know, it means that no one is allowed to use him. None of his friends, none of his family, no one is allowed to use him to try and find out what I'm doing. You know what people do, what men do when they still, in love with their partner, or want them back, or want to spy. Well, I had a final protection order, and it still exists today, with the police, that on my ex, for the reason, because I cut him off. I had to cut him off because of our situation. It was because I had to protect my children. I was trying to bring my kids up in a well-balanced life. And I know his family is really proud of me, so it's got nothing to do with that. But I have to describe as a victim the danger they have put my life in, and everybody else. But I do want those people accountable, and I believe some of them are still alive. Maybe some of them are dead, blah, blah, blah. But the game needs to be exposed to make sure it doesn't happen to somebody else again. So what they've done is they've dug up my past. Okay, he definitely has a rocky background himself. We were teenagers when we met. Okay, I don't regret having my children. I wouldn't change them for anything in the world. To me, they were my world. They still are my world. But for the sake of all other innocent civilians with my background, I have to expose this pathetic, childish, cowardice, thieving game. Okay, I'm angry. That's why I'm trying not to, trying not to swear, to be totally honest. But I'm human. But the hell they've put me through has been inhumane. So what they've done is, just because he's had a different background, he's had a druggy background, he's had, a bit of a street life. I have to describe it, but they've linked me and my kids to him, and defamed our relationship, defamed our character and all the good things we're doing, just because their father, has had a different life. Okay. But I'm just trying to explain what these stuck-up snobs, okay? I know you're all watching and listening, but that is what I see. You guys are stuck up. But these are what these stuck-up cultures and snobs are doing. They've turned my life into a product. And then they've dug up my past, okay? Maybe, and everybody's got a past. And I'm quite sure if the table would turn, we'll find something very ugly and repulsive about you, okay? But this is what they're doing, okay? They're digging up people's past, and then they're putting off the public not to go to them because of what they think, the way they've interpreted things through gossip, through pure hate and jealousy. You can actually feel the spirit of hate when I listen to the radio, So that is why I'm denouncing these cultures and these women, because they're fraud, okay? But I'm just trying to describe what they've done. So just because somebody's had a difficult life or a difficult journey and made it through to government the honest way, because I'm proud to say that I did make it through the honest way, because I did everything correct. And I know that there are a lot of good people in government who are very proud of me, and I know God is very proud of me, okay? But it's the game that I find despicable. It's the humans who are animating us, and then they're living off us, and then they're like flaunting as if they're all that to the world, and then people are actually looking up to you, but underneath it all, at the price and the suffering of somebody else. That's despicable. It's disgusting, unfortunately, in my world of honest people of the same mindset like me, okay? But this is the things that I have suffered personally. This is why I'm talking the way I am, and it's everything I say is justifiable, but I am describing the game as it is. So they've labelled my family one. So, and then obviously, I mean, I go out and I see comments, the things people are actually putting out in public. I know they're talking about me, and it's like, that is so bad. It's like, it's definitely hate alliance. It's definitely. But what I have found really disgusting about the game is that Church of Christ didn't even know half of the things that, like, I grew up in church, okay? And I grew up with very godly, loving, rich European people, and no, they weren't stuck up. They were actually real, genuine, true, loving people because I grew up in there. So I know what I'm saying. I know what is stuck up and I know what is not. So I'm not speaking for everyone, but I am speaking against those who have participated in this game or whoever's behind it. I want this game to be exposed. I want those people made accountable, and no doubt it will happen because I'm making it happen, but I'm just explaining the game. Okay, so when I go out, I've been labelled by these men, and then the women are being made out to be the product to go for, okay? But what I'm saying is the innocence of the civilians, like, like I have no, like, at this stage, like when me and my ex broke up, I brought up my children without bitterness. And what I'm saying is that none of my children knew anything bad, or still don't really, because they don't really know, they just know what's on the surface. But I when I brought my kids up, I wasn't that type of a parent where I would turn the parent away from the kids. He did that all on his own. Okay, he's actually very lucky and blessed today that things have changed for him. But I'm just using this as an example, but of the game. Okay, so the defamation is intimate, it's personal, it's global, and but it's because the reason being is because underneath it all, the white man is actually stealing, or the other cultures involved with the white supremacists and the other cultures are actually secretly stealing something that doesn't actually belong to them. Get the picture? Yeah. And then they lock out the originals from society and they can't go forward, and they're always on a defense and always at risk of being murdered. So that is the game, guys, okay? So all these three people, they all represent someone. And as for Moana, I know you're fighting for yourself and the what do you call it? Croatian, okay, linked to her. Some of them are one of the doctors, I know I've already mentioned this, I believe is linked to Moana, who was a Croatian. Moana was brought up in church, linked to Pastor King, okay? I'm still waiting on God to see whether I should even reveal everything, but I think I'll keep silence for now. But I suggest, I'll just go with it. But I hope you'll get the game. But just keep in mind, I'm not talking for all the Indians. I'm not talking for all the, I'm not talking against all of them, okay? I'm not talking against all the Croatian. It's not about that. We're talking about and focusing on the defendant, okay? The defendant and their families. But I'm just trying to describe the game and how cowardice it is, okay? So they've looked at me like an object because I'm Samoan, part Mexican. I'm actually adopted, okay? So there's probably other blood in me. So the object, I've been used like an object. So everyone is attacking me because of where I come from. Okay, so that's what's happened. And then the Māoris have definitely been a part of this Aotearoa, okay, New Zealand first. But it's the game that I'm rebuking. It's the game that I detest. It's the game that is illegal. I cannot even believe it exists, but it does. Okay, so I've got Māori family in my family, okay, and I love them. And, the thing is the game is illegal. My family, we would actually be quite rich today if people had just stayed out of my business and not steal what is actually mine. Okay, so that is what's actually happening. So we've got, all this defamation going on social media globally. They've turned me into a product. And another thing, just because my ex has done all that doesn't mean my kids are all doing that too. Okay, my kids are actually quite opposite to what he is, and I'm quite sure their father's proud of his kids. I know his family is proud of my kids, because I know I made the right decision. But that's our business. But they've made our business into our game. Okay, our product game. And this is where the white supremacies, the extremists, I mean, I can even just listen to some of the things they're saying about me on the radio. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Like, I'm not joking. I'm too embarrassed to even say some of the things they've said about me, body parts. Like, I'm sorry, but you're a danger to society, and even to treat women like that. But you can still be sued. I hope you know that. Or that can be used against you in a criminal case. But I'm just trying to describe the game, because it is a game. And this is my discovery personally since I've been doing my court cases. But other religions are all part of the game. And it's, but this is what they've done to me, even now. Okay, they've locked me out, and every time a judge has to make a judgment in my favor, because they have definitely lost, they lock me out because they're trying to steal something that doesn't belong to them. Okay, so in saying that, a good example is Unison Dance Crew. Okay, it was my idea who did it. It's quite obviously now everybody believes me. I legalized it and I did everything correct. But they turned it into a game so they could steal. I know I've also been used for movie ideas. This is where the Moana movie comes in, and they've used her name. And they've put little bits and pieces here and there to represent me. So they think it's true, but it's not true. Okay, my medical records have been falsified. But just so you know, it can all be, it's going to be a very serious criminal case before or after the fact. So but yeah, so the people that the whoever's behind this, like, they've used me and they've pretended I'm Māori. Well, I'm not Māori, okay? I'm the original. I am who I am because that's who God created me, and I'm not ashamed of who I am. Why should I? I haven't done anything wrong. But the animation and the inanimation of individuals, that is what's happening secretly, publicly. Okay, so they've pretended that I'm Asian, or they've pretended I'm somebody else. But there's several perpetrators operating in one float, and the gangs are definitely linked to it. Okay, the gangs have made themselves involved in this game, but the whole idea is the gangs are being used to keep an eye on the originals to stop them from going forward. So that's the danger. So all the originals, the gamers involved, they all know where the evidence is, and they can just kill everyone one by one. But yeah, this is what you call the new age conspiracy game. So sorry guys if I sound a bit upset. I'm just keeping an eye on the time, but I felt in my heart I needed to describe the actual game. Okay, so just that what they're doing is, just because that person, their father had a bad, different, obviously a different background, they're like pointing the fingers and trying to make out my kids are just like that. It's not like that. It's just like, just because you're a Christian just because you're born into a Christian family is a good example, doesn't mean you're a Christian. You still have to have your own experience. So just because somebody says, I'm a Christian, it doesn't mean you're a Christian either. In saying that, you still got to have evidence of the good things that you have overcome, stuff like that. Okay, so I'm just using that as an example. But this here is an example of what I'm going through, and it's been very hostile for me, very hostile. So when it comes to investigation, it's definitely organized crime. I'm walking right into the opposing allies, and they're just setting me up with the women that is lusting over Henry, or the women that they are pretending, for example, Natalie Visciso and her fake Henry Cavill. And while we're at that,
I feel a sense of connection to it in some ways.
this is the real Henry Cavill, guys.
Both the stuff of
The
nightmares,
original.
the stuff of dreams, within a short span of time. But yeah, I care about it a lot and have a connection with it. It'll definitely be a part of the final project.
Okay, so I've already showed Henry all this, okay? Like anything, before I actually tell you, I actually confirm. I like to confirm from Henry himself to make sure, because I want, if I'm deceiving the public, I will be making a public apology, because that's what I'm like, okay? Because I hate any kind of deception. I'm a no-nonsense person when it comes to deception, lying, or anything like that. That is me. That is my personality. And those that I work with professionally knows what I'm like. And this is where I'm coming out from. So if I sound angry, and I am angry, sometimes, all these things trigger and I get upset because I don't know how to deal with it. But I'm only human, and quite clearly God's revealing I'm only human. But these things are happening, and I am denouncing them as they happen. Okay, so this here is a recent one. There's actually a video clip. And this one here, they've got Henry's brother there, okay? This is not Henry. Henry says still not him, but it's a tactic. Whether that is Henry's brother or not, I don't know. I can't say. But I do know that this kind of tactic, they've used it on me with my family. I know my family in the past have been used. Okay, my brother is not here anymore. And some other members of my family, but I want everything about me investigated, because the only people that do use lookalikes or they use imposters are super rich people behind the scene who have money, like what they've done to me, or people in Hollywood, obviously. And also the royals. Okay, it's all part of the deception linking to my court cases. Okay, so keep in mind, but Henry and I are both exactly the same when it comes to private business of our love affairs or anything like that. Okay, we're so private. Like my family, I don't need to ask my family permission if I can do this or do that. I don't. They don't even care. My family doesn't even care what I do. But the people that are, the perpetrators using other members of the family are using them. Okay, they're using your family and friends. Some of them are being branded, making them obligated to the game to be a spy, to sabotage. But this, I'm just explaining the global game that is 100% illegal, okay? And I feel like God has just taken me round in circles and pointing the finger, going back to exactly who is actually behind this. Obviously, it's the crown, it's people, in government, people in a higher authority. That's not on. And that's what they're digging up people's private life and everything, doing unlawful everything, treating them like pet animals. Okay, because they've treated me really bad. I'm not joking. I'll just hang on a moment. So 100% according to the law, what has happened to me is definitely illegal. It is extortion, by several corporate bodies and several cultures, religions, and race. So it's a global game, which makes it even more serious. Do I know who's behind it? Yes, I do. Okay. I have to speak the truth, black and white, no matter what. Even if I get murdered tomorrow, I believe I have to explain what it is and how it works for the sake of everyone else who isn't aware of it. I was actually brought up without technologies. We were brought up in a church where we didn't watching too much TV or anything technology was discouraged. Unfortunately, if you guys are left behind a society, you will go through everything I'm going through. You can just be a sitting duck, and because everything's globally now, everything is technology, they will steal. And that has been my own personal experience, okay? But they have used me for relationship scams. And the thing is, they are glued. They're actually glued to me. Words cannot describe what they have put me through. I just cannot describe it. So once again, I'm denouncing all those relationship scams. And I'm just going through it. But in saying that, even though that they've branded themselves to make themselves all that, it's actually fraud because of the way you are doing it. You know, people get branded for good reasons. You know, a good name is a good name for good reasons. And it's got nothing to do with whether you're fat or skinny or what colour or nationality it is. A good name is a good reputation. And that is why it's so dangerous what they're doing. But in saying that, because you've branded yourselves, and I've actually got other evidence on my YouTube and on my Facebook page of the names of people that they've branded, linking themselves to people in my private life. A lot of people probably wouldn't click on, but I can just sit down with a criminal judge or criminal barrister and actually tell him exactly who they're talking about. But they know who they are because, funny enough, they've disappeared. But the thing is that what they're doing is they are breaking the laws. They're coming in your space, and then they do the damage, and then they cover up and lie. So that's how it's been. It's been really, really, really bad. Okay, so this is me and Henry's set of circumstances. This is what it was like with me and Pastor King. Me and Rob was different because we worked together. But however, when COVID struck, we were in a concealed situation. Next minute, I knew he cheated. But this is what happens with a relationship scam and a concealed situation. People are actually playing sports secretly. It's still illegal. But they are hacking our Wi-Fi's. They are listening to our private conversation. But yeah, once you study somebody after years and years, they just need to just code you, and everyone already knows. But it's quite serious. Okay, so this is the danger of what I have gone through historically. So everyone linking to both Henry and I's activities globally and here in New Zealand, you can all be a suspect to anything if anything goes wrong, or just investigate it in your part, whether there has been some kind of interference, interaction to sabotage a individual. Our laws clearly say that. So globally, this is how it's been for me and Henry, but it's also been like this while I was at church, and because Pastor King was one of my closest confidant back then. And, and then I believe other religions are using the church or using the Bible to enslave people. That's actually none of your business. If people, do what they do, that is their business. But I believe that's what these other religions and cultures are doing. They see the opportunity to take advantage of of innocent civilians, because majority of the time people that go to church do mind their own business. It's not a crime to be a gossip, but people do gossip. But if they get caught out, linking to something, it is a crime. It is a conspiracy if you are linked to it. the danger of innocent civilians, who are just sitting ducks, mind your own business, or a vulnerable adult. You can be a vulnerable adult while working for the government. I definitely was a vulnerable adult, even though I was working for the government. And then I had my private life and going to church. But people were secretly animating and spying and actually using the technology to actually study everything I was doing, linking to everything else I was doing. Hope you get what I'm saying. So this is what happens when you get locked out. Where you only get to deal with the call centers, hub desks, and then when you go to the front counter, you can wait in line all day for hours, and then only to find out that the people that is serving you are lying to you and giving you misleading information. But this is what the call centers and the hub desk is being used for globally. Okay, that this is what they're doing. They're locking out people for games, for illegal games involving their assets, they're actually stealing. Okay, and the scary thing is it is globally. So don't have too much confidence in your money and your occupation, because you just don't know when it can happen to you. I knew it was happening to me when I was working, and I think experience and common sense, I definitely know what a breach is, and I've just been brought up in that kind of environment where I was trained that the law is a very serious thing. You break that, a breach is really serious, and then even though I am an islander, but my mindset has been more European thinking because I was brought up in that environment. So that is where I come from. And that, in fact, I don't really have a sense of humor for anything funny. There's a time and a place for everything. So I don't find bullying funny. I don't find people, getting a kick off, pointing at other people's flaws and making a joke of it, like humiliating and ridiculing them, and mocking them. That is none of your business. But I have found that this is what this game involves. They take people's liberty away, and then they want to do the relationship scam and paint a pretty picture for those that they want to set up with whoever they want to steal. Okay, and the most horrific thing for me is actually hearing the defendants being branded, or the defendant's family, being used by the government. Is their family? This is what they're doing. They're using their families and their friends to be a superior within your space, or just to be a spy. But yeah, that's quite serious. So I think I'll leave it at that. Sorry, I didn't mean to make this video too long, but I felt I needed to denounce things as they happen. Also, I will be making a police report. I have to actually make police reports because they are sabotaging everything in the moment. This is another proof of why financial hardship happens to people. It's because somebody is they're counting your money, and they're watching you going down financially. They're lying to you at the counter, or giving you misleading information, or making up their own lies, or making up stuff that's not even true. So that's why the complaints process is really important. If you need to be efficient, you need to take note, build up your own case against those people that are lying to you. At the end of the day, every corporate body is accountable and is accountable and ordered by the law. Okay, but this game that they're doing, they're just texting each other, coding people globally, and then they've got the global espionage going on. They're even doing threats to me globally. Like, they let me know when they're pissed off about something, so I know that they're going to try and sabotage, which tells me they have access to everything me and Henry are doing. So I will just, I believe God is using both of us to actually to reveal this illegal game. I believe there's other people that have not made it. But yeah, I will just end it at that at this stage. So I'm denouncing all those deception. At this stage, I feel they're locking me out. They actually are locking me out. And the thing is, the law, it's got nothing to do with culture, religion, or anything. The law is black and white. Okay. That's my mindset. And yeah, so that's how it is. So carry on with the game at your own risk. Recently, some stuff have happened, and I won't say too much, but I did tell Henry I'm going to make a police report in the moment evidence, and then just linking all those things, because no one should be sabotaging anybody. But it's quite clear that is what's happening. And I'm still waiting to hear from the other cases, because obviously they don't want to make an order. I don't know, but this is the system. I feel like they've turned my life into like the city council, like I'm some kind of a object, and then all these people gets to vote. So where's the fairness in that? I mean, that just puts everybody's private families and friends at risk. So unfortunately, my case is definitely against the Crown, is a strong one, and I'm not going to stop. I know I've already won, and I'll just go with it. But yeah, I will make another New Zealand police appointment. Not an appointment. What do you call it? A police complaint. I'm actually sick of complaining to them because they actually don't do anything. If you've noticed, I did put some complaints when I ring them, but this has been going back to 2000. What I'm saying is the pattern I'm going through hasn't changed. So I don't know how the police keeps records of phone calls when people has their mobiles. Do they keep all those calls? Because I know that I've gone back to look for my files and stuff like that. They haven't got it anymore. But yeah, that's just something, I guess, for the new criminal judges to deal with in New Zealand. But these are all my findings. They are deleting in the moment evidence, and I am dealing with perjury. I'm dealing with internal corruption, and I'm just going to keep everything in the moment for the safety of myself and Henry, and for my family and all the other innocent civilians in New Zealand, so then they too can know how to protect themselves. Okay.